Here's a chilling space horror scenario that builds on isolation, psychological dread, and the unknown horrors lurking beyond the stars. Title: Echoes of the Void. A deep space research crew is sent to investigate a mysterious anomaly at the edge of the galaxy. They discover an abandoned alien structure on a desolate planet, but when they enter, they find that the structure isn't empty at all. Something is waiting, feeding on their fear and unraveling their sanity. 1. The Call to the Void. The Lysandra, a deep space exploration vessel, is part of a secret mission to investigate a strange gravitational anomaly that has been detected on the farthest edge of the galaxy. The anomaly has been causing strange disruptions in local spacetime, and its source remains unexplained. The crew, a mix of scientists, engineers, and military personnel, are eager to uncover the truth. Their journey takes them to an uncharted planet on the outer rim, where they find an ancient alien structure, an immense, dark pyramid, half buried in the planet's barren landscape. The structure is perfectly preserved, and scans reveal no signs of life or any recognizable technology inside. Ignoring the unsettling silence of the place, they begin their investigation, venturing inside the monolithic ruins. 2. First signs of something wrong. The deeper the crew goes into the pyramid, the more disturbing their discoveries become. The walls are covered with strange symbols that seem to shift and pulse, almost as if alive. One of the crew members, Dr. Talia Westbrook, finds an artifact, a strange crystalline object that seems to hum when touched. She feels an overwhelming urge to keep it, though she can't explain why. When they reach the central chamber, they discover something unexpected, a massive, incomprehensible machine that looks ancient and beyond human understanding. It appears to be dormant, but something is watching them. The atmosphere in the pyramid grows thicker with each passing hour, a sense of being observed by an unseen presence. 3. Voices from the dark. As the crew begins to study the machine, they start to experience strange phenomena. It begins subtly: mild temperature fluctuations, flickering lights, and the sound of whispers in the dark. At first, they dismiss it as the result of the planet's unstable atmosphere or malfunctioning equipment. But soon, the whispers become more distinct, first in the distance, then closer. Some of the crew members hear their own names being called. Dr. Westbrook, who had taken the artifact back to her quarters, begins experiencing vivid dreams. In these dreams, she sees an enormous entity made of swirling blackness, its form constantly shifting and writhing. It speaks to her in a language she can't understand, but she feels compelled to listen. One night, a crew member, Lieutenant Marcus, disappears without a trace. His last recorded message was a terrified whisper, "It's in the walls." The others search frantically, but there is no sign of him. 4. The unseen hunger. As the days go by, more and more strange occurrences pile up. Crew members begin seeing shadows in the corners of their vision, flickering just beyond their sight. One by one, their equipment starts malfunctioning, and systems aboard the Lysandra go haywire. The anomaly in the surrounding space seems to grow stronger, as if the very fabric of reality is unraveling around them. The most disturbing phenomenon is that of echoes. Dr. Westbrook begins hearing strange voices calling out to her, voices that sound like the crew members who had disappeared. Sometimes, when she's in the corner of her eye, she sees glimpses of them, pale, disfigured versions of her colleagues, twitching and silent. They seem to be trapped in the walls of the pyramid, their faces frozen in silent screams. The crew starts to fracture. Paranoia sets in. Some believe the machine in the center of the pyramid is responsible for their hallucinations, while others think the entity that lives within it is slowly consuming them, feeding on their fear, their confusion, their very life force. 5. The hunger takes form. Dr. Westbrook, now fully obsessed with the artifact she found, begins to lose touch with reality. Her behavior becomes erratic, and she starts speaking in the alien language she's been hearing in her dreams. As her mental state deteriorates, she becomes convinced that she is the chosen one, selected by the dark entity within the pyramid to bring it to life. In a desperate attempt to stop the madness, the remaining crew attempts to disable the machine. But when they reach the central chamber, they find that it's too late. The artifact, once dormant, has started to reactivate, and the dark entity has begun to emerge from the machine. It is not a physical being, but a manifestation of pure, consuming hunger, an ancient consciousness, capable of warping the minds and bodies of those it touches. 6. The endless night. The last few surviving members of the crew try to escape, but the pyramid has already begun to collapse in on itself. The walls pulse with living energy, and the ship's communications are filled with garbled screams and static. As they flee deeper into the pyramid's shifting labyrinth, they realize that the very structure itself is alive, its halls are a trap, an inescapable snare that feeds on their despair. The final moments of the crew are a blur of confusion and terror. Some of them vanish into the shadows, consumed by the entity. Others become trapped in endless loops, replaying their final moments over and over. The last surviving crew member, barely clinging to sanity, stumbles through the corridors, haunted by the echoes of their lost comrades. Each corner reveals another glimpse of twisted, distorted faces, images of crew members who are no longer truly human, their bodies and minds claimed by the dark force. Ending, the Lysandra is found years later, drifting in space. The anomaly has expanded, now a massive black hole at the center of the galaxy. No signals or transmissions are ever received from the ship. When a rescue mission arrives, they find the pyramid gone, as if it never existed. The ship's logs are recovered. The final entry is from Dr. Westbrook, who, in a desperate attempt to communicate before losing herself entirely, wrote, "It's here. It's in everything. The void. It takes. It waits. And then, silence." This scenario combines psychological horror with cosmic dread, tapping into the idea that space is not just vast and empty, but a place where ancient, unknowable forces lurk, feeding on the fear and insanity of those who encounter them. It's not just a fight for survival, but a descent into madness as the crew is consumed by something beyond their comprehension.